Everyone, this is Menz here, playing World of Warships, and as you might have heard, the United States Navy battleships, as well as the Japanese aircraft carriers, have been released in a recent patch, along with a few changes such as shell mechanics and armor. So armor is a little bit more important now. Now, looking at the Tier 6 U.S. Navy battleship, the New Mexico here, you'll notice that size-wise, it's kind of similar, but it's a little shorter than the other Tier 6 battleship the Japanese have, the Fuso. Now, they have taken out the listed armor values for now because they were incorrectly stated, as many have noticed, but New Mexico, armor-wise, it's almost on par with the Fuso, as far as what I've looked up. Just a little bit lower in some spaces it looks like, but armor wise it's pretty similar to the Fuso. Now just going over the stats, I'm going to go top to bottom to kind of compare the two, to show the difference. Survivability, as far as the HP goes, New Mexico loses out a little bit compared to the Fuso. Fuso has a lot more HP. Basically it's the difference between surviving another salvo or not from cruiser. Now artillery wise, as you see, the Fuso, its maximum firing range is a little over 21 kilometers, and its main battery 2.1 rounds per minute, dispersion 241 meters, and a little over 1,000 damage per shot. Now you switch over to New Mexico here, and as you see, not only does it have less turrets, but it does have more guns per turret though. So basically the Fuso works out to be just about 12 guns. New Mexico 12 guns, so it's the same there. However, maximum firing range is just under 15 kilometers, and that's with the modification to increase the range here. And as you see, the Fuso does not have the module to be able to do that, unlike American battleships that have a module to increase the maximum range. So even with that, you're still outranged by Japanese battleships by a pretty big margin, and that's a very big downside. Now, your rate of fire is also lower than the Fuso. You have a bit better dispersion, and as far as damage goes, you're just about on par with the Fuso here. You're a little bit higher with AP, a little bit lower with HE as far as damage, but you do have a higher chance to set things on fire with your HE rounds. It looks like 30% with the New Mexico and 27% with the Fuso. They have changed HE rounds a little bit in this patch so that they explode faster, essentially. So they're not going to be passing through lightly armored sections of the ship like they were, so they will be a little bit more effective. Now, moving on to secondaries, New Mexico has 18 127 millimeter guns that reach out to 4 kilometers. Fuso has 4 turrets with 2 127 millimeter reaching out to 4 kilometers, and then 14 152 millimeter guns. So essentially, it's another wash there. Fuso might be a little bit better in the secondary department, though. Now, AA guns. Just looking at here, I'm not going to go through every single one of them. Listed value of 30 compared to the New Mexico that has 38. New Mexico, basically, it has a little bit more range on its AA since it has these 127 millimeter guns here that also work, while the Fuso does not. So the Fuso's AA is very centralized right around the ship at close range, while New Mexico will be able to reach a little bit further, but it's gonna pack a punch once you get within the shorter distances. So New Mexico edges out the Fuso on that part. Now, maneuverability. Maximum speed for New Mexico, 21 knots. Turning circle, alright. Rudder shift time, alright there. It does beat the Fuso out a little bit. However, it is a little bit slower. Even though it turns a little bit better in New Mexico and the rudder shift time's a little bit better, It is slower than the Fuso, so that is why it has a very low maneuverability rating. So it can turn a little bit better, but you're going to be going a lot slower, which makes you a bigger target. So it's really a positive and a negative. So even though it's better in turning, it's not really going to be dodging more shells than the Fuso. But it's just something where that's really based on your situation. Now, concealment, New Mexico wins here. Surface detectability range 14.2 kilometers, air detectability range a little over 11. Fuso can be seen a lot further out than the New Mexico due to its size. So that's a plus there for the New Mexico. Now, let's hop into a battle here with this. Now, going into a fight, and as you see, they've changed the battle queue, so it shows you players within your range instead of all the tiers now, which, nice little change. I'm not terribly concerned about the change. Nobody should complain about it because it really doesn't matter. But going into a fight, you really have to know that you do not have range on Japanese battleships unless they're a lot lower in the tiers than you. And even then, they're about the same. Now, as you see, everyone's going to be playing battleships right now. At the same time, some cruisers can get up to your range, and it's a little bit of a concern because you're not going to be able to really have that range that you've grown accustomed to with the Japanese battleships over cruisers with the US battleships, at least with the New Mexico. Now, this is also a new map here called Hotspot. A little bit different. It does have a lot of cover, and they will be adding in... Yeah, I'm heading this way. They will be adding in shallows, so this is why this map looks like it has a ton of cover. It's going to be most likely in the next patch. That way battleships aren't going to be able to go through some spots, and cruisers and destroyers will be able to get through. It all depends on what your ship is. Now, this map is different. As you see, your team starts separated, and really it boils down to focusing on one corner of the map. I have seen you don't exactly just want to split, because whatever team works together is going to win on this most of the time. Not all the time, but most. And as you hear here, or hear me firing, they have changed the sounds a bit, which I'm not exactly a fan of, but whatever. And apparently they've added different music in, which I have the music disabled since YouTube likes to kind of say that you're infringing on copyrights every time you have music in the background. Come on, where are you at? Now, I don't really have much help right here right now, so I'm going to start turning right away from this guy. I don't want to get right into the line of fire. Now, like the Warspite, your guns actually do not traverse fast enough to how well you turn in this battleship, so you just got to keep that in mind. Ah, there he is. But yeah, the new sounds kind of odd. It just sounds almost like a very dinky gun. Okay, I thought that there'd be one more person coming down here, so I guess I didn't need to turn like that. Which, as you see, turning now, your ship does react with the water a little bit better, which, plus in my book, it makes it feel like you're not just driving across a imaginary water plane. And even though somebody asked which way we wanted to focus, and I pinged down there, nobody else really responded. It seems like our northern team all went north, which, whatever. And even though this is a Tier 6 battleship, something that I guess popped back in my head, it does not have a scouting plane like Japanese battleships do around this tier. It's not a huge downside, but it is something to keep in mind just because spotting planes can sometimes save your ass when you're around cover. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into the fight. I thought there'd... I guess it was the Mogami stuck down here when I first saw him, that I thought there'd at least be one or two ships down here, but I guess they all focused north instead. So, my bad, but it does go to show that this ship, with its limited mobility, it is something to keep in mind, because right now I'm going to be taken out of the fight for quite some time. And I am lagging a bit. Since this patch was released recently, there has been quite a bit of lag, and it's just something every game deals with. So that's why it's stuttering a little bit, even though my FPS isn't really dropping me below 30 that much. Although with the battles I have fought, I have noticed my FPS has been dropping, but that might be lag induced. Usually World of Warships has been performing much better in World of Tanks, and hopefully it remains that way, because one of the great features of World of Warships is you don't have to deal with your FPS just dropping map for map like World of Tanks sometimes. Okay, this guy is coming straight through here. And of course he turns. Would have been nice had I waited to shoot for another second. See if I can hit him here. I'm getting behind this island though, so I'm unsure if they're actually going to go over. Just a second too long there. Okay, so there's going to be two ships here. Hopefully my team comes to help, because once they get their guns on me, I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. This is New Orleans. Led him a little too much. As you see, not much damage there. Armor definitely means something in this patch. Definitely hurt him there. But I'm actually going to get a little closer to him so my secondaries start to tear him apart, since my secondaries can go through his armor while his can't really damage me that much. So I keep myself angled here a little bit. we go. Hit him pretty damn hard. But cruisers in this patch have to be a lot more careful against battleships because you can't always guarantee that you're going to penetrate them. Sometimes it's better to hit them with HE. Which is definitely a nice change in my book because usually cruisers could just tear apart battleships with AP even if they weren't exactly capable of penetrating their armor as well. Okay, I guess that was a little bit of a waste. I have this New Mexico coming out here, so I'm gonna change my target over to this guy. There he is. Fire one round of AP. I'm gonna see if I can get lucky and set him on fire. Only because, as you see, barely or no damage at all hitting him with AP there. His guns aren't turned to me yet, so don't have to worry about being shot just yet. Be nice if I can get a nice HE hit on him here. Shit, I completely whiffed there. I thought he was a little closer. I'm used to shooting at ships that move a little faster, and even though I'm driving the same exact ship, that's a pretty big mistake on my part. Yeah, that hurt. Swap back to AP now. Did a little bit of damage to him with HE. That should help him out. Let's just turn into this guy because he's gonna have first shot on me. Pretty bad accuracy there. That was a decent hit though. He's gonna have the next hit on me, so I'm gonna... thought I would be able to turn, but nope. And of course it knocked my turret out, which that kind of sucks. I'm definitely at a disadvantage now.
Penetration.
Yeah, unless I get behind this island before he hits me next, I might die here. I survived one more. They have buffed main turret survivability, but you still get taken out. If you get hit by a battleship, that's not going to save you. I think this island's gonna have enough time to save me now. I'm gonna be a goner. Missing that one. Yep, I'm done. Missing that. Actually, those first two salvos really did me in. First one, AP. That was just kind of a mistake. I didn't really hit him that hard. And then the second one with the HE, I just completely whiffed because I forgot that New Mexicos don't move as very quick. But compared to Japanese battleships, I wouldn't say that the or compared to the Fuso, I wouldn't say New Mexico is completely outclassed. You just really have to keep in mind that it doesn't have the range that the Fuso does, so you really have to use your turning capability to dodge shots from, say, the Fuso if you're fighting head-on, and not exactly go head-on in open water. It's just really a thinking game, or a chess game, that you have to play, so it's just something to keep in mind. Now, do I think they need to raise it a little bit? Yes, because the rate of fire is lower, or at least tweak things a little bit. The New Mexico needs something over the Fuso, aside from just AA and being able to turn. But anyway, pretty decent match. They have added in little achievements here, like World of Tanks, hit 46 times, team-wise, and they've added in little anchors showing you what you've done. Team-wise, most amount of experience on my team, even though I was kind of out of commission for a little bit. And we were outnumbered too. Damage-wise, 82,136 with the AP, 1,650 with HE, and it does show you fire damage, and a little over 8,000 in that department, which pretty nice there. And my secondaries did a little over 4,000. So this patch does bring quite a bit to the table as far as changes go. You really have to use AP and HE more intelligently now. It's not just fire AP all the time and chip away. If you don't penetrate now, you're not going to do any damage. So overall, New Mexico, very good ship. Just it's pretty different than what you're used to seeing and playing with the Japanese battleships. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my website, menzgaming.com. Thanks for watching.